Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Daily Cup English, the podcast where you can relax, enjoy a cup of coffee, and practice your English with real conversations. I'm Liam.
And I'm Chloe. Hi, everyone. We're really happy you're here with us today.
Yeah, seriously. Whether you're listening in the morning, during your commute, or maybe while you're walking your dog, we appreciate you spending a little time with us.
Exactly. Some of you might be drinking coffee right now, some of you might be studying English at your desk, and some of you might even be cooking dinner while listening to us.
I actually love that idea. Learning English while making dinner. That's very productive.
Right? Multitasking. Learning English and cooking at the same time.
So before we start today's conversation, we have a small favor to ask.
Yes, if you enjoy listening to this podcast and it helps you improve your English, please subscribe to the channel and follow Daily Cup English.
We post new podcast episodes every day, so you can practice English regularly with us.
Consistency is really important when learning a language. Even if you only listen for 10 or 15 minutes a day, it can make a big difference over time.
That's right. Think of it like drinking a small cup of English every day, just like our name, Daily Cup English.
I like that. A daily cup of English for your brain.
Exactly. And the best part is that our conversations are natural. We talk the way people actually talk in daily life.
Yes, we share experiences, opinions. Sometimes we disagree, sometimes we laugh, just like real conversations between friends.
Which means you can improve not only your listening, but also your understanding of how English sounds in real life.
And don't worry if you don't understand everything. That's totally normal.
Absolutely normal. Even native speakers sometimes say, "Wait, what did you say?"
That's very true.
So just relax, listen, and enjoy the conversation.
All right, Liam, are you ready to start today's topic?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
So today we're going to talk about something that many English learners struggle with, listening speed.
Oh yeah, this is a big problem for many learners.
Exactly. A lot of students say the same thing. I can read English pretty well, but when native speakers talk, it's too fast.
I hear that all the time.
Right. People say, when I watch movies or listen to podcasts, everyone speaks so quickly.
And sometimes it feels like all the words are connected together.
Yes, instead of separate words, it sounds like one long sound.
Like, what you gonna do instead of what are you going to do?
Exactly. And learners think, wait, what was that?
I know that feeling.
So today, we're going to talk about a technique that can really help with this problem.
Yes, today's topic is the shadowing technique.
Shadowing is a very popular listening and speaking technique for improving listening and speaking at the same time.
Many language learners around the world use this technique.
And the cool thing is, you don't need special equipment.
No expensive course, no complicated tools.
All you need is audio, your ears, and your voice.
That's it.
But Liam, before we explain how shadowing works, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Do you remember the first time you listened to native English speakers speaking at full speed?
Oh, wow. Yes, I do.
Was it easy?
Not at all. Even though English is my first language, I remember watching some fast talkers on TV when I was younger and thinking, wait, slow down.
That's funny.
Some people talk really fast, especially in big cities like New York.
Oh, yes. When people are excited, they speak even faster.
Exactly, and that can be very challenging for English learners.
That's why techniques like shadowing can be really helpful.
It trains your brain to follow the speed of natural speech.
And after some practice, your ears start to recognize sounds more quickly.
Which means listening becomes easier.
And more enjoyable, too.
Definitely.
So today's episode, we're going to talk about what shadowing is, how it works, our personal experiences with it, and whether it's difficult for beginners.
And we might share a few funny stories too.
Oh yes, I definitely have a funny shadowing story.
Now I'm curious.
You'll hear it later.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
So, everyone, stay with us, relax, and let's dive into today's conversation about the shadowing technique to improve listening speed.
Let's get started. All right, Chloe. Let's start with a very simple question. What exactly is shadowing?
Good question. Shadowing is a listening and speaking technique where you listen to audio and repeat what you hear almost at the same time.
So you don't wait until the speaker finishes the sentence.
Exactly. You try to follow the speaker immediately, like a shadow following a person.
Ah, that's why it's called shadowing.
Yes, you become the speaker's shadow.
I like that image. So if the speaker says, "Today is a beautiful day," you repeat it right away?
Yes, almost at the same time, maybe half a second later.
That sounds a little difficult,
It can be difficult at first.
especially if the speaker talks fast.
True, but the goal is not to be perfect in the beginning.
So it's okay if you miss some words.
Totally okay. Actually, most people miss many words when they first try shadowing.
That makes me feel better already.
Right? The important thing is to keep following the sound.
So it's more about rhythm and sound than understanding every word.
Exactly. That's a very important point.
Many learners think they must understand every word before speaking.
Yes, but shadowing is different. You focus on listening and repeating quickly.
Almost like singing along to a song.
That's actually a great example.
When you sing along to music, you don't always think about each word.
Right. You follow the rhythm and melody.
And shadowing works in a similar way.
Exactly. You follow the rhythm of natural speech.
Another interesting thing about shadowing is that it trains your brain to process sound faster.
Yes, because your brain must listen and speak at the same time.
It's like giving your brain a small workout.
A listening workout.
Yes, a listening workout.
And over time, your brain becomes more comfortable with fast speech.
Which means when you listen to real conversations, they don't sound so fast anymore.
Exactly. But Liam, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think beginners should try shadowing?
Good question. Because I imagine some beginners might feel frustrated.
That's true. If the audio is too fast, it can feel overwhelming.
Right, people might think this is impossible.
But the key is to choose the right audio.
Short and simple?
Yes, short, clear, and not too fast.
So maybe a short podcast or a simple conversation?
Exactly. Something similar to what we're doing here.
Perfect practice material.
Exactly.
You know, hearing all this reminds me of the first time I tried shadowing.
Oh, really? When was that?
It was a few years ago when I started learning a little bit of Japanese.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you studied Japanese.
Just a little bit. I was curious about the language.
So you used shadowing to practice?
Yes, I read about it online. Many language learners recommended it.
And how did it go?
Honestly, it was a disaster at first.
Really?
Yes, the speaker in the audio was talking and I tried to repeat, but I was always late.
So the speaker finished the sentence before you did?
Exactly, I was always behind.
That's very common.
And sometimes I completely missed the words.
Like your brain just froze?
Yes, my brain was like, wait, what was that sound? Then the next sentence started and I was still confused about the first one.
That sounds familiar.
For the first few days, I thought maybe this technique isn't for me.
Did you want to quit?
A little bit, yes.
But you didn't quit.
No, I decided to try something different.
What did you change?
I chose much shorter audio clips.
That's a smart idea.
Instead of listening to long conversations, I used sentences that were only 5 or 6 seconds long.
That makes it easier to follow.
Exactly, and I repeated the same clip many times.
Did it start to feel easier?
Yes, slowly. After a few days, my ears started to recognize the sounds faster.
That's the magic moment.
Right, suddenly I didn't feel so lost.
Your brain adapted.
Exactly, I could follow the speaker more closely.
Were you still missing words?
Of course, but fewer words than before.
That's progress.
And the most interesting thing was this. When I listened to the audio without shadowing, it sounded slower than before.
That's one of the biggest benefits.
Yeah, it felt like my ears had become faster.
Because your brain was trained to react quickly.
Exactly.
That's why many language teachers recommend shadowing.
But I have to admit something.
What?
I was speaking quickly, making mistakes, and sometimes mixing words together.
So it sounded messy?
Very messy.
But that's actually part of the learning process.
I agree now. At that time, I felt a little silly.
Did anyone hear you practicing?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, no.
My roommate walked into the room while I was shadowing.
And what happened?
He looked at me and said, "Are you arguing with someone on your phone?" I said, "No, I'm practicing Japanese."
That must have looked funny.
Very funny.
But hey, learning a language sometimes looks a little crazy.
That's true.
But it works.
Yes, it does.
You know, Liam, listening to your story reminds me of my own experience with shadowing.
Oh, really? When did you start using it?
I started when I was learning Spanish a few years ago.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you practiced shadowing too.
Yeah, my Spanish teacher actually recommended it.
That's a good teacher.
She told us, if you want to sound more natural, you need to copy the rhythm of native speakers.
That makes sense.
So she introduced us to shadowing. At first, I thought it sounded easy.
Let me guess, it wasn't easy.
Not at all.
Same story again.
The first time I tried it, I played a Spanish podcast and started repeating the sentences.
And?
I realized something very quickly.
What was that?
Spanish speakers talk very fast.
That's true.
They connect words together and sometimes they shorten words.
Just like English.
Exactly. So when I tried to shadow the audio, my mouth couldn't move fast enough.
Your brain understood the sound, but your mouth said nope.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
So what did you do?
Well, at first I felt a little frustrated.
That's normal.
But then I noticed something interesting.
What was it?
Even when I made mistakes, my pronunciation started to improve.
Really?
Yes, because I was copying the speaker's voice, tone, and rhythm.
Ah, so you were learning the music of the language.
That's a beautiful way to say it.
Language really does have music.
Exactly, and shadowing helps you hear that music.
I like that idea.
Another thing I noticed was that my listening improved faster than before.
Faster than just listening normally?
Yes, when I only listened, sometimes my mind would wander.
That happens to me too.
But when I did shadowing, I had to stay focused.
Because you needed to repeat everything.
Right, my brain had no time to relax.
So shadowing forces you to pay attention.
Exactly. That's actually a big advantage.
Yes, and after a few weeks, I started to notice something surprising. Let me guess, Spanish didn't sound so fast anymore.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Before shadowing, I felt like people were speaking at lightning speed.
Lightning speed, that's very fast.
But after practicing regularly, my ears started to adjust.
That's the power of training your brain.
Yes, but I should also say something honest.
Go ahead.
Shadowing can be a little tiring.
Oh, I agree with that.
After 10 or 15 minutes, my brain felt tired.
Because you're listening and speaking at the same time.
Exactly. It requires a lot of concentration.
So maybe it's better to practice for short periods.
Yes, short but regular practice works best.
5 or 10 minutes a day could already help.
Definitely.
But, Chloe, I want to ask you something honestly.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you really think shadowing is good for beginners?
Yes, I think it can be.
Really?
Yes, if they do it the right way.
I'm not completely sure.
Why not?
Because beginners already struggle with vocabulary and grammar.
That's true.
If they also try to repeat speech quickly, it might feel overwhelming.
I understand your point.
Imagine someone who just started learning English.
Okay.
They hear a fast sentence like, "What are you doing this weekend?"
And it sounds like what you doing this weekend.
Exactly, that could confuse them.
That's true, but I think the solution is simple.
What's your solution?
Beginners should choose very simple audio.
Like slow conversations?
Yes, slow podcasts, short dialogues, or even children's stories.
That could work.
The goal is not speed at the beginning.
So the goal is just to follow the sound.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Also, beginners don't need to shadow the whole audio.
Just small parts?
Yes, maybe 1 or 2 sentences.
That sounds much less scary.
Right? If you try to shadow a 10-minute conversation, you will probably give up.
Very quickly.
But if you practice with one short sentence, it feels possible.
Okay, I see your point now.
So I think shadowing can work for beginners, but they need to start small.
That's a good compromise.
What about you? Do you still think it's too difficult?
I think it depends on the learner.
That's fair.
Some people enjoy challenges.
Yes,
Other people prefer slower and easier practice.
that's true too.
But I think we both agree on one thing.
What's that?
Shadowing becomes easier with practice.
Absolutely.
The first time feels strange.
The second time feels a little better.
And after many tries, your brain starts to adapt.
Exactly.
And then one day you suddenly realize,
Your listening has improved.
and you can follow conversations much more easily.
That's a great moment for any language learner.
It really is. All right, Chloe, now that we've talked about what shadowing is and our experiences with it, maybe we should give our listeners some simple steps to start practicing.
Yes, that's a great idea, because some people might be thinking, okay, shadowing sounds interesting, but how do I actually start?
Exactly. So let's make it simple.
Step number 1 is choose the right audio.
That's probably the most important step.
Yes, if the audio is too fast or too complicated, it will feel very frustrating.
So beginners should look for something short and clear.
Right, maybe a short podcast, a simple conversation, or even a short video.
And the audio should only be 10 to 20 seconds at first.
Yes, keep it small.
Step number 2 is listen first without speaking.
That's important. Just listen carefully 1 or 2 times.
Try to understand the general meaning.
But don't worry if you don't understand every word.
Exactly. Remember what we said earlier. Shadowing is about following the sound.
Not about perfect understanding.
Then comes step number 3. Start shadowing.
Play the audio again and try to repeat what the speaker says.
Almost at the same time.
You might be half a second behind the speaker, and that's okay.
Yes, nobody is perfect the first time.
You will probably miss some words.
Or pronounce something incorrectly.
And that's completely normal.
Step number 4 is repeat the same audio several times.
Repetition is very important.
The first time feels difficult.
The second time feels a little better.
And after the 5th time, your mouth starts moving more naturally.
Exactly.
You start to catch the rhythm.
Another helpful tip is don't stop the audio every time you make a mistake.
Yes, just keep going.
Because real conversations don't pause when we make mistakes.
That's very true.
Shadowing helps you stay in the flow of speech.
That's a great way to say it.
Also, learners don't need to practice for a long time.
Right, even 5 to 10 minutes a day can help.
Consistency is more important than long study sessions.
A small daily habit can create big improvement over time.
Exactly.
And honestly, shadowing can even be fun once you get used to it.
Yes, especially when you start sounding more like the speaker.
You feel like a voice actor.
That's true.
You're like, wow, listen to me.
I sound pretty good.
Even if it's just a little improvement, it feels motivating.
And motivation helps you continue learning.
Speaking of sounding like a voice actor, shadowing can also create some very funny moments.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Do you remember any funny situations when you were practicing?
Actually, yes. One time I was practicing shadowing in my apartment.
Okay.
I was listening to a Spanish dialogue and repeating it very seriously.
Like a professional student.
Exactly. I had my headphones on and I was repeating every sentence.
Very focused.
Very focused.
So what happened?
Well, I didn't realize that my window was open.
Oh no.
And I was speaking quite loudly.
Uh-oh.
After a few minutes, I heard someone laughing outside.
Really?
Yes, my neighbor was walking past my window.
And he heard you speaking Spanish very fast.
Yes, and I was repeating the same sentences again and again.
That must have sounded strange.
Very strange.
Like you were talking to yourself.
Exactly.
Did he say anything?
He just smiled and said, "Good luck with your Spanish."
That's actually very nice.
Yes, but I was a little embarrassed.
I understand that.
What about you? Do you have another funny shadowing story?
Oh, yes, I do.
Let's hear it.
One time I was practicing shadowing while driving.
Okay.
I had a language lesson playing in my car.
And you were repeating everything.
Yes, I was repeating every sentence out loud.
That's good practice.
But then I stopped at a red light.
Uh-oh, I think I know where this is going.
The car next to me had its window open,
Oh no.
and I was speaking Japanese very loudly. I was repeating Japanese sentences with very energetic intonation.
Like, what is happening in that car?
Exactly. He probably thought I was having a very serious conversation.
But you were just shadowing your audio lesson.
Yes.
Did you stop speaking?
For a moment, yes. But then I thought, no, I need to practice.
Good attitude.
So I kept shadowing.
And the other driver?
He slowly rolled up his window.
That's hilarious.
Maybe he thought I was a little crazy.
But that's okay. Language learners sometimes look a little crazy.
That's true.
But those small moments are part of the learning journey.
And later they become funny memories.
Exactly.
So if you ever feel embarrassed while practicing shadowing,
Just remember, you're not the only one.
many language learners have the same experiences,
And the important thing is to keep practicing,
because improvement comes from practice,
even if it includes a few funny moments.
or a few confused neighbors. All right, Chloe, after all these stories and tips, let's talk about something important. Why does shadowing actually improve listening speed?
That's a great question. The answer has a lot to do with how our brains process sound.
Exactly. When you do normal listening practice, you simply listen and try to understand.
But when you do shadowing, your brain has to listen, understand, and speak at the same time.
Which makes your brain work faster.
Yes, it trains your brain to react quickly to the sounds of the language.
Another reason shadowing helps is that it exposes you to natural speech patterns.
That's a very important point.
In real conversations, native speakers often connect words together.
Right. For example, instead of saying, "Did you eat yet?" very clearly,
People might say something like, "jeet yet,"
exactly, words blend together.
and that can be very confusing for learners.
But when you practice shadowing, you start hearing these patterns again and again.
Your ears begin to recognize them.
So when you hear them in real life, they don't sound so strange anymore.
Another benefit is that shadowing improves your sense of rhythm in English.
Yes, English has a very specific rhythm.
Some words are stressed and some words are softer.
For example, in the sentence, "I want to go to the store,"
The important words are stronger.
and the smaller words are quicker and lighter.
Shadowing helps your brain notice that rhythm.
Exactly. When you copy the speaker, you start to feel the natural flow of the language.
And that helps you understand speech faster.
Another interesting thing is that shadowing also improves pronunciation.
Yes, because you're constantly copying native speakers.
You copy their tone, their speed, and their intonation.
Over time, your speaking becomes more natural.
And when your speaking improves, your listening usually improves too.
It's like two skills growing together.
Exactly.
But I think there is one more important reason shadowing works.
What's that?
It builds confidence.
That's very true.
At first, fast English sounds scary.
Yes, it can feel overwhelming.
But after practicing shadowing many times, fast speech becomes more familiar.
And learners start thinking, hey, I can actually follow this.
That moment feels amazing.
It really does. So today we talked about the shadowing technique and how it can help improve listening speed,
We shared what shadowing is, how to start, and some of our personal experiences.
including a few embarrassing and funny stories.
Yes, especially the story about me talking to myself in the car.
And my neighbor hearing me repeat Spanish sentences again and again.
Those moments are part of the language learning journey.
Exactly.
If you're listening right now and you want to try shadowing, remember to start small and simple.
Choose short audio clips.
Practice for a few minutes every day.
And don't worry about making mistakes.
Mistakes are part of learning.
The most important thing is consistency.
Yes, a little practice every day can lead to big improvement over time.
And remember, learning a language is not a race.
It's a journey,
A long journey with many small steps.
and hopefully some fun along the way.
Yes, learning should be enjoyable.
Before we finish today's episode, we'd like to say thank you to everyone listening.
We really appreciate you spending your time with us here on Daily Cup English.
If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
And follow the podcast so you don't miss our daily episodes.
Every day we share new conversations to help you improve your English listening skills.
And to make learning English feel more natural and relaxed.
Just like chatting with friends.
Exactly.
All right, everyone, that's all for today.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Keep practicing your English,
Keep learning step by step.
and we'll see you in the next episode of Daily Cup English.
Bye, everyone,
Take care.
and happy learning.
See you next time.